And what they do is they don't pay attention to the price, and there's a certain mechanics. People will borrow money. Wealth is not the same as money. So you see a lot of people getting wealthy, but you can't spend the wealth. You have to sell the wealth to get money because you can only spend money, right? So what happens is when they need money, for one reason or another, taxes change or interest rates go up, and so they have to pay their debt service and so on. There is a pricking of the bubble so that what happens is it falls, okay? And when that happens, people lose money. And as they start to lose money, the process works in reverse because when they made a lot of money, they have a lot of collateral, right? They can go borrow money because they're worth a lot, and that compounds on its way up. And then when it comes down the other way, it works the other way. Okay, now you got to pay your debt. And so then you have to start to sell assets. And then there's less demand for things, right? So there's less demands because if you're losing money because you put some money in the stock market and the company and so on, you're going to spend less. And as you spend less, then somebody else's income goes down, right? You don't go to the restaurants. The economic downturns that typically follow a bubble, like the Great Depression, the late 20s was fantastic. If you talk about changes and experiencing, this was the first time there was electricity in houses. So it was the first time you would have refrigeration and you would have lighting in houses. This was the first time that you had cars popular that you could get. First time airplanes, first time you had radio. And so everybody knew that they were going to be great in the future, and they were great in the future. But at the same time, what happens is as they buy them and stocks go up and they borrow money to buy them and so on, and the profits don't live up to the price, then that causes this other dynamic, and it produced the Great Depression.
So let's say that I buy this, and this is a unit of artificial intelligence. So let's say I buy one share in one of the big AI companies right now. Because investors are so excited about AI, they value this at $100, this unit that I have here. They say it's worth $100. So my net worth is now $100. I go to the bank because I have this net worth, this paper worth $100. And I ask the bank for a 50% loan on this thing that I own. They give me $50. Now I have $50. And then something happens in the economy, which means that the investors who have invested in this, and investors generally, now need money to pay off their other debts that they have. So this could be a war, it could be some kind of event that takes place. And suddenly everybody rushes to sell their assets like this one. And so when I go to sell this, the price of it has now plummeted to say maybe $25, but I took a loan at the bank for $50. So I owe the bank $50, but now this thing that I have that was worth $100 a couple of months ago is now worth $25, and I'm $25 in the hole. So I have to quickly sell. And then with everybody selling, all the price of assets drops, people stop spending money at the restaurants, like you say, there's less money around, and then the bubble has burst. And